Welcome to the Blistein Institute for Women of Hebrew Theological College commencement exercises of the class of 2018. Please take a moment now to silence your phones for the remainder of the program. Please be seated. And we will begin the processional. Thank you very much for coming.
On behalf of the Blistein Institute of Hebrew Theological College, I want to welcome and wish Mazel Tov to our graduates, their parents, grandparents, husbands, fiancés, extended family, friends, and well-wishers. My name is Shmuel Schumann, and I have the privilege to serve as the chancellor of this excellent institution and work together with Rabbi Olstein, Rabbi Dr. Elef, Dr. Tessler, Mrs. Lipschitz, and the entire faculty and staff. We have a large graduating class today, and we are truly proud of what each of you has accomplished during your time here at Blistein. We are excited for what we are confident you are yet to achieve. As you step off of this stage this morning and into your future, here is a message to take with you. Korach and his rebels accused Moshe and Aaron of selfishly taking power and prestige for themselves at the expense of the rest of the nation. In castigating them, Moshe said, Rav lachem b'nei Levi, it is too much for you sons of Levi. But Moshe paid the price for that comment, says the Medrash, because when he prayed and pleaded to Hashem to allow him entry into the land of Israel, Hashem told him, Rav lach, al tosif daber elai od b'davar hazeh. It is too much for you. Do not continue to speak to me further about this matter. You, Moshe, said, Rav lachem, it's too much for you to Korach. So Hashem denied your request with a similar expression, Rav lach, it's too much for you. So what does this mean? Are we playing word games? What is the significance? So I heard an explanation as follows. Why did Moshe want to go into the land of Israel? It was to be more spiritual, to get closer to Hashem, to grow and to develop. Korach and his followers, in their twisted perspective, wanted the same. They wanted to serve Hashem and the Jewish people, and when that is a person's goal, you don't tell him or her, Rav lach, it's too much for you. Because it is never too much when someone strives for growth and excellence in spirituality, and it is wrong to burst their bubble and to douse out their fire. So Hashem says to Moshe, you want to go into the land of Israel to serve me in Klal Yisrael? Better? By being more spiritual and by getting closer to me? Well, it's too much for you. How does that response feel? Not good. Moshe learned his lesson. The lesson for us is clear. Don't limit yourself and don't limit others. The sky is the limit. Never stop striving and never stop reaching. Because, as Rabbi Franz said here in Chicago at the Siyum Hashas, what you think is beyond your reach is often within your grasp. How many times have we heard people say, I can't? But really they could. And in fact, they did. Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel Zatzal, the Chicago native who became the famed Mir Rosh Yeshiva, suffered from Parkinson's disease and at times shook violently. One time he asked a philanthropist for a large donation for his yeshiva. The philanthropist said, I can't. Nosson Tzvi said to him as he was shaking from his condition, I also can't. I also can't do my job, and yet I do. Nosson Tzvi got the donation. As you graduate and move on to your next pursuit in life, know that yesh lachen rav. You have much. You have family, friends, health, success, a college degree earned while you continued your Torah learning here at Blistein. But not rav lachen, it is too much for you, because it is not too much for you. You have not reached your limits. There is so much yet to strive for and achieve. The sky is the limit. Churchill said it well. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I do not say to you graduates, Rav lachen benot Blistein. It is too much for you, O women of Blistein. I say, Yesh lachen Rav. You have much. May you continue to have so much more. Mazel tov and hatzlacha on your journey skyward.
Thank you, Rabbi Shuman. Good morning. Mazel tov. Being here for about 25 years doesn't make it easy for me. Still very exciting. We are here today to express amazing appreciation to a group of graduates that accomplished so much. But not only since they went through a program that is outstanding program, top academic program. It's not only because they had to take Torah studies in the highest level possible. It's not only because they had to take an English program that is a top program. I can go through the list of what they have to cover and to fulfill to come to this day. They have to learn Tanakh, they have to learn Mefarshei HaMikra, commentaries on Chumash in depth. They have to learn Medrash, they have to learn Halacha. They have to learn Jewish philosophy, they have to learn Jewish history. They have to learn English, they have to learn speech. They have to learn psychology, they have to learn computers, they have to learn business. They have to learn psychology, they have to learn science. It's an amazing, outstanding program, while some of them have other responsibilities. And they're coming to us after a long journey. And they're going to us for, fortunately or unfortunately, for a short time. I spoke to a number of graduates last week. And I remember, it's hard for me to realize you right now, but I'm telling you, with the dress of graduation. But a number of them told me, we just came back, we just came in, we are just graduating. Outstanding accomplishments. But there is much more to it. Chazal say that when Moshe Rabbeinu was about to receive the Torah, to be mekabel the Torah, the angels were standing on his way, saying, keep the Torah upstairs. Don't give it to human beings. And Rebbeinu Shalom tells Moshe Rabbeinu, you have to fight for the Torah. It's not coming easy. Just not a gift that is given to you, obvious. And you have to find ways to convince the Malachim that it has to do with us. And then Moshe Rabbeinu turns to the Malachim and he tells them how the Torah can apply to you. You were not in Mitzrayim, you were not in Egypt. You don't have to do the mitzvah of Kibud Avayim to respect parents. You do not have Yetzer Hara, you don't have jealousy. Which way you think Torah belongs to you? The Rebbeinu Shalom tells Moshe Rabbeinu, you have to hold my chair, Echaz b'chisach avoidi. And you should give them an answer. And the obvious question is, what did the Malachim have in mind? And which way it could apply to them? Moshe Rabbeinu is absolutely right. Why he has to hold the chair? And I'll tell you. I think the Malachim were okay with us receiving the Torah and fulfilling the mitzvahs to do the instructions. But there is much more into it. Torah is not only Shei Klula, fast on Yom Kippur, keep Shabbos. Torah is a lifestyle. Torah is something that you learn and you acting accordingly, more than just the manual instructions. Rebbeinu Shalom tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Achaz b'chisach avoidi. You should hold the chair of Rebbeinu Shalom, human being. Ve'achzer lahem tshuva, so in Hasidic Rebbe said, and you should tell them, we have a concept of tshuva. We have a concept to perfect ourselves. We have a concept to live accordingly. Looking backwards, as I said, for 25 years, experiencing this outstanding experience, being part of the Blistein Institute. with outstanding colleagues. I can go through the list of names, but I'll respect those people by not saying the list of the names. I owe them so much akara satoy. I have some that coming to me already 24 times after my speech, and I make sure that they are part of the crowd saying, Rabbi Olstein, your English is beautiful. and it's getting better, I believe. I'm here to know that this group of graduates will not just accomplish finishing amazing program, but they made Torah part of themselves. Implanted in them. To try to explain what it is, I can take an example from my memories going back to my youth. In my youth, what kind of dreams a young man used to have in my yeshiva high school dreams? We had a dream that we'll build Eretz Yisrael. We will build the world of Torah for the world. We had a dream that we'll serve the state of Israel as the best soldiers. We had different dreams. We carry different values of loyalty and responsibility to Klal Yisrael. Only a few of us had a different dream. One of them is my friend Udi Zicherman. He had a dream he will be a pilot in a jet that is a fighter jet pilot. That's very hard to be accepted. From hundreds that apply, only few are accepted. For the few that are accepted, only very few are coming to graduate from this course that takes place 2 years. And we followed what he had to go through. 2 years of a very tough studies and training. And each and every time he came back to the yeshiva, we asked him, how you doing? And he was still there. To graduate from this course, DICE, what they call, you have to go through 2 tests. The first one, he passed. You know what it is? He flies up to the sky, 30,000 feet up there. With the one who tests him, he sits behind him. And once he is there up there in the sky, the test is they turn off the engine. And they want to see how could it be that you can still make and function as a pilot. And Udi passed this test. And he came back and he said, I have one more to go. Because he still had the equipment, the electrical equipment in front of him to know what he should do without engine. But the final test, almost 2 years after being trained, only few passed this test. He's up there 30,000 feet in the sky. They turn off the engine and they cover the electrical equipment. And you see 3 dimensions, they're all blue. And you have to figure out, so what should I do to make sure that the aircraft is still going? And he failed this test. And he was told, after 2 years of hard training, we're bringing people to the point that they have a feeling to what is it to be there up there. They don't need equipment anymore. It's built in. And I felt like that's the example I can give to what I see in the last 25 years of our graduates. It's not just to cover material. It's not just to know Torah and general studies in the most amazing way. It becomes part of them, makes them ready for overcome different healthy, good challenges. Make them ready, as some of them are already there, to build a family, to be part of community, to do chesed, to be part of chinuch. So we are here today to express our appreciation not only for finishing outstanding program. We are here today because we have trust and expectation. And we know these young ladies that graduate today will carry the values of Torah as Chaye Olam Nata B'Seichenu, and they will go Michai Len Chai. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize several individuals here this morning. Rabbi Shmuel Schumann, Chief Executive Officer of Hebrew Theological College. Rabbi Dr. Zev Elif, Chief Academic Officer and Dean of the Men's Division, and who deserves a big mazel tov because he just had a baby. Rabbi Benjamin Olstein Nahel Rouhani of Blistein Institute. Mr. Brian Levinson, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Hebrew Theological College and a member of the Board of Turo. And all of the chairs and the faculty who are in the audience today, thank you so much for coming. First, I'm proud, very proud to announce that we have published the academic journal, the Apogee, which is a compilation of essays and research projects by the students. This was edited by members of the honors program, and we're thrilled that it is here today, so it's on the table, and please take one. Everybody is welcome to it. I take pleasure in announcing the following awards. A number of years ago, my brother, Dr. Richard Tresley, instituted the annual scholarship in memory of our parents, Dr. Jack and Dorothy Tresley, to be awarded to a continuing student who displays excellence and diligence in her studies. This year's scholarship, and it's to a continuing student, this year's scholarship is awarded to Bruma Zlatopolsky. Mr. Bobrow gives an annual scholarship in memory of Mrs. Harriet Weiss Bobrow to a continuing student who demonstrates distinction in the field of education. This year's recipient of the Harriet Weiss Bobrow Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Adina Ginsburg. Please rise for a second. Can't see in the audience. The annual Dr. Vivian Skolnick Psychology Award, established in her honor by her husband, is awarded to an exceptional student continuing in the field of psychology. This year's scholarship is given to Mushki Silverberg. The Ben Zal and Leona Rosenberg Merit Scholarship is bestowed annually on a continuing student who illustrates keen intellect and exceptional performance and commitment to her studies. This year's recipient is Russell Weinberg. Ethel and Ben Stern established a scholarship in memory of Ethel's sister, Dr. Judy Ginsburg. Dr. Ginsburg, Alaz Shalom, was a dedicated and popular instructor in the area of speech and the natural sciences. She was an instructor for many years at the Blistein Institute. This year's recipient of the annual Judy Ginsburg Memorial Scholarship is awarded to a continuing student in the field of health sciences or speech and communication disorders, and she is Rachel Haskell.
Schumann, Rabbi Olstein, Rabbi on the left, Mrs. Lipschitz, Mr. Levinson, honored parents, treasured students. I'm Honey Tesler. I'm honored to be here today with all of you. This is one of life's defining moments for you, and I am humbled and honored to share it with all of you. Collectively, you have engaged in advanced Torah studies, as Rabbi Olstein mentioned, Jewish law, Jewish history, Jewish philosophy. You have taken courses in the natural and social sciences, mathematics, English, accounting, business, education, health science, psychology, and speech and communication disorders. Can you imagine how smart this group is? And how hard they have worked. It is my honor to give you graduates the charge today. As you have participated in Shabbatons, heard lectures, had chagiga, ski trips, pottery making, barbecues, you've experienced so many outstanding events at your time in Blistein in a Torah-infused environment. You have studied hard and stayed up nights and worked so hard and persevered. And here you are, and we are all so proud of each and every one of you. This past Shabbos, we read Parsha Shlach, dealing with the unfortunate incident of the Meraglim. This was the story of the spies who went to scout out Eretz Yisrael and see how it would be that Klal Yisrael could overcome the nations that are there and conquer the land. 12 of Israel's finest leaders, the Gedolim, the Nesiim of Klal Yisrael, went on this mission, and 2 members of this group succeeded. They were Yoshua ben Nun and Kalev ben Yefuna. After the spies gave the scathing report of the difficulty, in fact the impossibility of being able to conquer the land, Kalev says to the nation, to Klal Yisrael, Alo na'aleh, we shall ascend and conquer. Rashi explains that Kalev listed for the nation all of the miracles that they had experienced, everything that they had gone through with Moshe Rabbeinu at the helm, the Nisim and the flows. By saying Alon Na'aleh, he was saying to the nation that even if the task ahead, Alo, to ascend, was to build a ladder and ascend to the heavens, if Moshe Rabbeinu says we should do this and we can do this, then we can do it. Alon Na'aleh, we can and will ascend. We could do it because as the leader of the nation, Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen by Hashem, and we should follow him. This is the faith that we have today in Emunas Chachamim. We follow our Chachamim because what they say is a message from God. Alo na'aleh, you can ascend. Kalev continues with the report about Klal Yisrael, and he says, Ki yachol nuchal, we will be able to overcome. We can do this. Remember, Kalev and Yehoshua saw the exact same things that the rest of the spies saw. They all looked and they all saw the same things. Pirkei Avos says to always look at something with the ayin yafa, to look with the good eye. They saw the same things. It was the interpretation. Kalev answered, Yachol nuchal, we can overcome this. We can do this. The spy said, Lo nuchal, we cannot. But Kalev said, we can do this. We have the ability to overcome this. We can do this. Finally, the Meraglim, the spies were all great men. They were tzaddikim, as mentioned before. So how did they fail? Why did their eyes see something different? Why did they not say, Yachol nuchal, Alo na'aleh, we can do this? The Maharal actually says that there was a deep cheshbon behind their report. They felt that all these years in the Midbar, they had really gone through miraculous times. They were living lives that were above nature, that they were above derech hateva. And they were concerned that now entering Eretz Yisrael, they would have to come, as they say, come back down to earth. They would have to now start making a living, being involved in commerce, being involved in trade, being involved in all the things that they did not have to do in the Midbar. The Midbar was a land, a place of miracles for them. The mun, their clothes were always clean. The food was perfect for what they needed. Everything that they experienced in the Midbar was exactly, perfectly suited for them. Now that they would enter Eretz Yisrael, it would be so difficult. Lo nuchal. How on earth could we possibly overcome this? According to nature, they felt that there was no way that they could overcome these trials, and we certainly could not overcome an awesome and powerful enemy that would prevent us from conquering the land. They erred. They made a mistake. Because Klal Yisrael is never bound by the laws of nature, no matter where we are. We are never bound. Ein mazel b'Yisrael. We are not bound by the regular natural laws that Klal Yisrael is above nature. We see this every day in the land of Israel, surrounded by that hostile environment. We know that there is a constant above nature. Chutz miderech hateva. We are above the laws of nature because we persevere in the most difficult kind of environment. We don't live by the laws of nature. And so, dear graduates, my charge to you is threefold. Number one, alo na'aleh. Follow the words of Chachamim. Aseh lecha rav. Have a rav and go forward. And what the Chachamim tell you in Klal Yisrael, you can do it. If you follow their path, you can soar. You can soar up to the greatest heights that you can imagine for yourselves. Yachol nuchal. Number two, look at things with a good eye, with an open eye, with optimism. You will always hear people say, it can't be done. You can't do it. And you can be the one that says, Yachol nuchal, I absolutely can. I absolutely can, because every one of you has and did. And finally, always remember that you are not bound by the laws of nature. You have the most awesome secret weapon available to mankind. You have siyata dishmaya. And that is something to daven for daily. Every day of your life, daven for siyata dishmaya, because it is the most important thing you take with you. May the lives ahead of you be filled with mazel and bracha always. Mazel tov. And now we will ask for the students to give their addresses to the group.
Okay, so I was gonna get lucky. So, good morning, family, friends, fellow graduates, faculty, of course. Just so you know, premature fantasies, I've thought about this moment a lot before, of my college graduation, featured me in a purple hat and gown, infused with energy and optimism, armed with concrete strategies for my future. And then, about a few months ago, I had this moment that I refer to as the rude awakening. And I think a lot of people in this room, especially my graduates, can relate to this moment when you're roused from your blissful naivety and you're tasked with this awesome responsibility of answering, like, but really, what are you going to do now? So for me, the question struck a kind of obscure anxiety, and it threw my entire future into question because I hadn't actually planned class graduation, mistaking it for the end when it became increasingly obvious that it was just the beginning. So obviously I panicked, and I researched, and I discussed my options ad nauseum. Mostly I panicked. And I think my approach to the impending graduation is very emblematic of how most of us address the future. We plan, and we obsess, and we micromanage, believing in our folly that we can, and we must, arrange them into a neat progression of stepping stones. We cannot, and more I realize that we must not. Because when I consider all my options, I realize that I would happily do anything, go anywhere, as long as I avoid a certain dreadful place. This place is called, eloquently dubbed by Dr. Seuss, as the waiting place, if you know from his famous poem, All the Places You'll Go. These are his words. Its inhabitants are waiting for the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. And if you define your life as stages of your contrived plan, then you're doomed to remain a citizen of the waiting place. because whatever you're doing becomes a means to an end and is correspondingly tainted with apathy. Fortunately, we possess the quintessential quality for avoiding this fate. We are beginners. And this fact, a lot of you might know, used to cause me a lot of anxiety. I used to always say, like, whoa, what if school's all I'm good at? Because there was, like, no evidence to contradict that. But being a beginner is actually not a fault, but it's an asset. Because we have more excitement, we have more enthusiasm for whatever we are doing than we will probably ever have again. We are totally willing to learn new things because we know that we do not know. We are engaged in the moment, we are not waiting for it to pass. So wherever you go, invest your efforts, your minds, your hearts, be open to everything, be a beginner. And for me, this mindset is a natural progression from my time at TI, here for 2 years, and I really felt that teachers continuously emphasized that our learning should not be just for the test and should not be just for the diploma we are receiving today, but it should be lishma, for its own sake, for the value it gives us today. So I owe my thanks to this institution for helping me plan for my future in the best way possible, but also ensuring that I do not live in it. And there's no one word that is the antithesis of waiting. I think it's being present, it's being appreciative, it's being alive, it's doing, it's possibility, and I call it, for lack of a better word, the opposite of waiting. So to my fellow beginners, embrace your uncertainty, your inexperience, because they are the symptoms of the opposite of waiting. And I thank all the people that make me want to appreciate the present, and of course Hashem for giving it to me.
Good morning. L'Kavod Rabbi Schumann, Rabbi Elef, Rabbi Olstein, Mr. Levinson, Dr. Tesler, Mrs. Lipschitz, Rabbeim, faculty, family, and friends. Mazel tov to my graduating class. I've been asked by the dean to say a few words at this memorable event. The motto of TI is L'Lmod U'Lamed Lishmor V'Lasos, to learn and to teach, to guard and to do. This is an excerpt from the Tefillah of Abba Rabbah. In Abba Rabbah, we ask Hashem to imbue in us a love for Torah. In this tefillah, we ask Hashem, Lahavin ulahaskel, lishmoa, lamod ulalamed, lishmor velasos, to understand and to become wise, to listen and to learn, to guard and to do. The Sefer Olas Tamid asks the following question. It seems that the words are in the reverse order. How can we be asking for wisdom and understanding before we begin to actually listen and learn? Usually a person needs to learn a set of data, and then they can start to delve into it and understand what it actually means. A person who wants to create a house needs the raw materials before they can start building. So why then are we in the need of understanding before we begin to listen? Lahavin Ulahaskel adds a tremendous dimension to what Torah study truly is. What we are asking Hashem is that we should become wise and understand the value of Torah study, that we become aware of the greatness and the awesomeness of Torah. Once a person has this wisdom of the awesomeness of Torah, one realizes the great obligation to learn it. Only then will one be receptive to listen and learn, for they are already at a level of awareness of how much the Torah means to them. The understanding is truly a prerequisite to learning. For one to truly be able to learn and internalize, one must realize the greatness of the task ahead of them. We rely on those greater than us to instill that value system in us so that we can properly learn. Here in TI, the value of education and learning was one of the messages imparted. The idea that one should properly be educated in order to be able to begin a career and make a great impact in this world. This educational message, intertwined with the values of Torah study, made us aware of how great our learning is. This allowed for us to build a solid foundation of who we are and who we aspire to be. For those who are culminating their studies, and for those of us who are continuing on to further education, we will be receptive to listen and learn, now that we have an understanding and wisdom of why that learning is so important. The reason why it is so intrinsically important not to forget the people that were instrumental in furthering my education is because it goes way beyond the classroom. The lessons that were taught were life lessons that will accompany me throughout my entire life, and that's why I'm deeply indebted to all of you. First, I wish to thank my wonderful school, which has given me the opportunity to pursue my education in a warm Torah environment. This has become much more evident to me now that I'm going to be continuing my graduate studies in a more secular environment. When you walk through the doors of TI, the walls are permeated with Jewish education embodying the same traditional values that we had in high school and in day school. Yet the instructors instilled in us, in the most professional manner, a college education without compromising our values that we hold so dear. Having people like Rabbi Olstein, Dr. Tesler, and Mrs. Lipschitz leading this illustrious institution is one of the best kept secrets, even in a small community like ours. Their professionalism, combined with the care and concern that each student be given the tools to succeed, is the glue that holds our school together. Every instructor, too numerous to mention, is selflessly dedicated to educating in the most proficient way possible and was available for each of us anytime we requested it. My hope and prayer is that each of you should have long, healthy lives that continue to educate and inspire. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my community, my friends, my relatives, my siblings, my parents, and most of all Hashem for enabling me to become the best I could be. Your constant encouragement and faith in me has brought me where I am today. I can never have made it here on my own. To my fellow graduates, I congratulate you on all of your successes. I admire your devotion to your studies, your passion for learning, and your determination to succeed. I have truly learned and gained from each and every one of you. I thank you for contributing to my amazing experience here at TI. Graduation is not an end. It is really just opening a door to a brand new beginning. Dear graduates, I would like to wish each of you Hatzlacha wherever life may take you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Behold Rabbi Schumann, Rabbi Aleph, Rabbi Olstein, Mr. Levinson, Dr. Tesler, Rabbeim, faculty, family, and friends. I would now like to take a moment to reflect upon the accomplishments of my fellow graduates. Some of us have earned a degree in health sciences, business, accounting, English, speech and communication disorders, psychology, and Judaics. Yet TI is not a place where we merely took our classes, earned our degrees, and graduated. Rather, TI is a place which infused within us a love for Judaism and the importance of Torah in our everyday lives. Our school has taught us the importance of maintaining Torah standards in the world of academia and the secular workforce. Our experiences here have given us the ability to develop leadership skills and find our personal strengths and talents to achieve our full potential as well as become well-rounded individuals. And I do mean well-rounded because there's always food in the library. As we stand here today and graduate, I would like to discuss a paradigm of the concept of graduation in Tanakh. Avraham Avinu is a role model who had the necessary strength it took to complete one stage of life in order to reach the next one, and thereby reach a higher level of existence. In Pirkei Avos, Perek Hey, Mishnah Gimel, it states that Avraham Avinu passed each of the 10 tests that Hashem challenged him with. According to the Rabbeinu Yonah, the first test which Avraham passed was Or Kasdim, where he was thrown into a fire and miraculously did not perish. In Parshas Lach Lecha, in Perek Tesvav, Pasuk Zayin, it states, Vayomer Elav, Ani Hashem asher hosisicha me'or kasdim, laseis lecha es haaretz hazos levishta. Hashem said to Abraham, I am Hashem who brought you out of Or Kasdim, to give you this land to inherit it. Despite the fact that Abraham grew up in a family and community of idol worshippers, he was a revolutionary thinker and was saved from a fiery furnace because he stood up for his monotheistic beliefs. Interestingly, the Rabbeinu Yonah comments that the test of Or Kasdim is not spoken about explicitly in the Pasuk, but the event with Nimrod and the flames is only spoken about in Kabbalah and the Forshim. However, the following test of Lech Lecha is stated explicitly in the Pasuk. I would like to illustrate two fascinating ideas associated with these Pasukim. First, the Rabbeinu Yonah comments here that the reason why Hashem promised Abraham the land of Eretz Yisrael was because he withstood the test of Or Kasdim. Second, the Rabbeinu Yonah makes an additional point when discussing these two tests. He wonders why the miracle of Abraham being saved from the fire is merely hinted at, as opposed to the test of Lech Lecha, which is stated explicitly in the Pasuk. Lech Lecha does not seem like a climactic test, because Hashem promises Abraham that he will acquire Eretz Yisrael and have many offspring who will be prosperous and successful. How is it that a major test is only hinted at, while a seemingly more minor test is stated in full detail? In order to answer this question, Rav Simcha Zisla defines two different types of tests which people face throughout their lifespans. First, there are glamorous tests, which are moments in a person's life which define his character and identity. During a moment when a person knows that he is at a junction in his lifetime where he must make a critical decision, even one involving major self-sacrifice, he is able to gather the courage in order to make the proper decision. However, there are also other types of tests which are not as cataclysmic. They are our everyday challenges which we face on a regular basis. Even though they are not defined as exciting, they are still extremely difficult challenges nonetheless. There is a story written about Rav Moshe Feinstein which highlights this concept. When Rav Moshe Feinstein was hospitalized during his final illness, his family screened his incoming phone calls to ensure that he would not be disturbed for any matter which was not urgent. On Friday afternoon, a woman called and asked if she could speak with Rav Feinstein. The family member who took the call asked her what her question was, as perhaps he could help. The woman replied, "I was calling to see what time Shabbos comes in this week." The family member was horrified and said, "Excuse me, but this is a question you need to bother the Rosh Hashiva for? If you look at any Jewish calendar, it will tell you what time Shabbos comes in." "What do you mean?" said the woman. "For years I call Rabbi Feinstein every Friday afternoon to ask him what time Shabbos comes in. And he tells me, and then he wishes me a good Shabbos. He has never once told me to check a calendar." In the same way, Or Kasdim was a glamorous type of test and defined Avram Avinu's true nature and character when he sacrificed his life for his belief in Hashem. However, Lech Lecha was an ordinary test which was not viewed by the public, nor was an open miracle. The lessons we learned both from the Rabbeinu Yonah and Rav Simcha Zissel Brody we have acquired throughout our experiences in TI. First, as Abraham was only able to earn the right of acquiring Eretz Yisrael when he passed the test of Or Kasdim, the challenges we overcome in school, whether they are academic tests or spiritual battles, help us reach the next venture in our course of life. Additionally, Hashem gives each and every one of us two types of tests in life. We receive the glamorous, self-defining feats, as well as our mundane, routine challenges. The latter of the two are the hardest to overcome. Will we still follow halacha even when we are in private? Will we still greet everyone we see with a friendly smile, despite the fact that we are fatigued? Although we may not distinctly notice it, these obstacles define our true character and create the person who we become. I wish all of us much mazel and bracha in all of our future endeavors. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
I would like to acknowledge our esteemed faculty in the audience. Please rise. I would now like to call upon Mr. Brian Levinson, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Hebrew Theological College, to authorize issuance of Bachelor of Arts degrees by Hebrew Theological College.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Hebrew Theological College, I hereby authorize Dr. Tesler, Dean of the Blistein Institute for Women of Hebrew Theological College, to confer Bachelor of Arts degrees upon the students who have met the requirements for graduation.
Rabbi Schumann, Harav Olstein, Rabbi Alev, Mrs. Lipschitz, and Mr. Levinson, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates assembled here have qualified in all respects for the Bachelor of Arts degree. They have successfully completed the accredited curricula offered by Blistein Institute for Women of Hebrew Theological College, a member of the Touro College and University System, and have been recommended by the Board of Trustees of Hebrew Theological College, together with the faculty, to be awarded their degrees upon completing the requirements thereof. To the graduates of the Blistein Institute for Women of Hebrew Theological College, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Hebrew Theological College, I do hereby confer upon you a Bachelor of Arts degree. Graduates, will you please rise? Ilana Kibble. Ahuva Zimmerman. Eliana Cohen. Naomi Drutman. Hannah Crone. Raquel Greenberg. Batya Raven. Dara Shudnow. Maira Krause. Dina Muscat. Tipora Rosenberg. Leah Razel Brownstein. Hannah Bernstein. Liat Leon. Buna Shulman. Shoshana Brenner. Hannah Shapiro. Rayleigh Merzel. Shoshi Post. Ahava Razel Perlman. Graduates, you may now please turn your tassels. Rabbi Schumann, Rabbi Olstein, Rabbi Alef, Mr. Levinson, honored guests and family members. I am proud to present to you the Blistein Institute of Hebrew Theological College, class of 2018. Please remain seated until all the graduates have exited the auditorium. Mazel tov, and thank you for coming.